Hey guys, so I hope everybody here is ready for a games night because shit is about to get really taboo. So tomorrow we'll resume with our usual humorous video that was planned for today, but after everything that happened in the past week I felt the need to make this video, so I promise we'll get back to the usual video stuff tomorrow. So for those of you who aren't from our island or are otherwise uninformed of what's going on, recently there has been a wave of leaks of explicit material which came into the public eye after Ira Losco spoke out against a Tumblr page which was promoting and sharing these explicit and, might I add, extremely private photos of girls in an act of revenge on the ex or just plain stupidity. And before we get any further into discussing this, I'd like to say that for me, the most shocking thing was perhaps seeing the number of people commenting, blaming the girls for what had happened. And what stood out the most was also the number of other women and girls playing the holier-than-thou card and slut-shaming left, right and centre, blaming them and saying it was all their fault and they should have some self-respect and some dignity. Now, that being said, I personally am not the sort of person who would do this sort of thing, and yes, I do agree that discretion with these matters is important and perhaps it wasn't the wisest thing for these girls to do. But who are you to blame them for trusting the wrong person? Again, I personally would not do this because I like to believe that I'm a better judge of character than that. But when you think about it, everyone watching this is also going, it's true, I am too. I'm sure they did too, up until this happened. So just after this happened, another wave of scandals swept across the country when the same thing happened with two guys. And this time, the tune changed from, oh, slut, and ooh, she had it coming, to pufta and fucking faggots, man. And putting aside the tangent I could go on about hateful slurs and the horrible effect they can have on people, I'd like to draw parallels with the fact that it's basically the exact same thing happening as with the girls, and it's just a bunch of misplaced anger and hatred for no reason. So Facebook flared up with dumb parodies and statuses insulting these people and attacking their personal accounts. Perhaps the scariest thing of all of this was just how caught up in it all people got. Just how passionate and angry and unaware of just what they were saying people got to post the funniest, most ridiculous, most slamming status they could. As a small island, we suffer so heavily from fanaticism, from overzealous passion and anger and rage at nothing in particular, just because something has sparked a fuse in us. And this is just who we are, but when something like this happens, everyone floods onto the bandwagon to give their opinion, to post their stupid status, and the shares and the statuses just go wild. And the more people get caught up in this, the more people think it's a good idea, and they see how others got their 15 minutes of fame and they take their chance and they post their photos of their ex in a desperate attempt to get people to notice them for a short while so they can join in this cascade of hatred and slamming and insulting and shaming. This is the reason I was so afraid to make YouTube videos at the very beginning. This is the reason I was so afraid to put myself out there like this. Because people, because YouTube was not a comfortable space for people to make constant videos. It was just not done. And when something in this country is not done, and you try it, you risk your reputation being thrown backwards and forwards between people's opinions that have only been formed based on what they've been told is done and not done. So for the first part of this video, the main message that I would like to get across is to think for yourselves, think objectively and form your own opinions. I know this sounds really exaggerated over just a bunch of naked photos, but that's the point. It's beyond that. And I'm not saying that it's the end of the world for these people just because there are a few naked photos of them. It's fine. We're all naked at least once a day when we shower. I hope. The point is, the way people are reacting is what's ruining people's lives. It's not a case of these photos being so bad that I need to defend these people. I am simply speaking out against this horrendous crowd tsunami attack on anything that's different or suddenly shocking. For the second point of this video, I'd like to speak out about something that has been bugging me for a very long time, and it's been a long time coming. And I think it also played a key factor in just how viral those photos went before. This taboo that our country has on sex needs to go. It's the reason that the selfie shit blew up so quickly. Because nudity, intimacy, explicit content, etc, is just not discussed in open platforms. It's just not done. And so when stuff like this gets out, everyone goes apeshit in a reaction driven primarily by the scandal of something breaking the norm. Now please, I am not saying I want to live in a world where you're walking along the cinema front and you just see two people having sex right there in the middle of the day. But this hiding behind words and getting to the point where we're pretending people don't even have sex anymore is just bad. Lack of education and discussion of this sort of thing leads to huge problems in young people's development. And this could be anything from not knowing how to use a condom and therefore not using one, to this insanely out of proportion freakout, to the new legislation in terms of LGBT rights, because of the intense lack of education on sexual orientation and gender identity. And for all those people who said it was bad morals that led to these 12-year-old girls becoming pregnant that we saw in the news recently, this is not the case. It is not bad morals. It's bad education. And please do not shrug at the social background of these people and go, meh, they sort of had it coming because of where they come from. Look behind all of this and look into the real issue of where this problem is coming from. And I'm almost 100% certain that this problem is not coming from the unbridled sex drive of a 12-year-old girl who's barely gone through puberty. The problem is taboo. The problem is silence. Guys, not talking about something does not make it go away, and it sure as hell does not make it any less of a problem, and this is something that needs to be tackled. Your brains are beautiful organs, guys. Learn to fucking use them.